So blessings to each and everyone that's coming here again. I'm here with the reggae girl princess Crystal from Talawa TV. Crystal, they have a drop, our bombshell reaction and the reggae girl squad that, will face, Dominica in St. Lucia on a neutral venue. Crystal, welcome back to the platform. We appreciate you coming back over here again. And, how you doing?
What is it? But first of all, forget my before I forget my manners, thank you again for another invite. Always fun. I'm talking football with you. What is this? Bang on what? Surpassing 1 week plus 1 week and a day since the
Yeah, something
disappointments.
like that. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, go
I'm
on.
hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. How
Still,
you
still traumatized of that.
listen? Yeah, yeah.
Still traumatized. I know. Look, the nation is not yet healed. Some people would say the 0-0 draw inside of a national stadium was worse a hit than the Cat 5 because the Cat 5 just hit the western side of the island, but the 0-0 draw it impact the entire island and the entire diaspora. What's your say on that?
I get, I get, I get where people are coming from. It's so tough. Like I think this isn't the first time in my life where a football I've never taken this long to get over a defeat. It's not a defeat, but it practically is a defeat,
Mhm.
because it denied us from an automatic World Cup qualification for next summer's 2026 Men's World Cup. But yeah, I can't believe like I'm still affected by this 1 week and 1 day on, and I'm still just like, wow, like this is reality.
So we're going to shift gear a little bit from the reggae boys. We're going to talk about the females, the ladies that don't really get a lot of attractions. I know it's kind of weird, but that's why we are here, and that's why we're going to get your reaction from the reggae girl squad. As you can, heard, Busby did this the press conference. Is it a press conference? It's a release, the press release, for the reggae girl squad. What's your takes, overall of before you go into detail in the squad, but what's your overall of World Cup qualifier? They are back, and hopefully, we can make it be a positive one. You will say Guyana, Antigua and Barbuda, Nicaragua, and the other country, soup or not?
Um, yeah, I think it depends on, well, I think it can be argued that success is subjective, depends on your interpretation
Yeah.
of success. But I think I'm at a point, as I stated earlier on in the year, where simply, and I say simply with no disrespect, just compete, qualifying for three World Cup on the bounce for me isn't all that I want from the Reggae Girls. Like I want more, and I'm demanding more because this is the golden generation, and the golden generation in terms of the core players is, what they say, everything, all good things has to come to an
Has
end. It's
come to
it's
an end.
slowly it's
And I
slowly coming
think
to an
I
end.
think this might be the last real good cycle in their prime.
Yes, and it's just like, look, I need more from you. Yes, it's great that we're now talking about three successful World Cup qualification on the bounce potentially, right? And you and I, it's such a unbelievable feeling, but I think it's safe to say that you and I would love to see if we can do it, by the way,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't think we're going to live to see their male counterparts, the Reggae Boys, be in a conversation of three successive World Cup appearances on the bounce. I don't
yeah.
think we're going to live to see that. So we're doing that with the Reggae Girls, and of course, we wish them all the best. In terms of the group, yeah, I guess people will call it a soup group
So
because I
it's
think,
so I got it in front of me. Guyana, Nicaragua, Dominica, and also Antigua and Barbuda.
yeah, I think in like the group, people will call it that. People are going to be calling it that. But I look, and I don't expect the girls to disappoint. I think they will qualify for the final round of the
Mhm.
CONCACAF Women's
Yeah.
qualifiers when they go to the championship. So I'm not worried in that regard. Again, I just think success is subjective. If you're just happy with the Reggae Girls sailing on through and qualifying for the latter rounds of the CONCACAF Women's World Cup qualifiers, fair play to you. You're probably going to enjoy this. But for me, it's more than that. I'm not going to be sitting back and saying, "Oh, they qualified. How did you qualify?" I'm looking at your style of play. I'm going to be looking at your identity. I'm going to be looking at your philosophy. That's what I'm looking at and thinking like, is there really much here to have a sing and dance about? Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, the answer is going to be yes, because football is a results game. But again, I don't want to be sat here and talking about this is a generation of our golden generation where
Yeah,
we're not reaching the full maximum potential, if you get where I'm coming
yeah.
from.
Yeah, I mean you're right. If I look at it, this is a golden generation. It's going to be tough when these girls, are not at their best, to replace them or even try to add even young quality players, to this pool. It's just going to be tough, and it's just to see the other teams, in the regions, especially when I look at the Asian teams. Oh my God, they have so many, very good youngsters, experience in the team, playing at a very good level. So look, if we go to the next round and we draw against the 80, it's going to be a tough one. It shows that, a few years back when we beat them, I think it was in Mexico. So, they're going to always be a tough counterpart. Mexico, when we beat them, I think the last time in their homeland, they didn't qualify. They didn't even qualify for the last one. So they regroup, they hire new coaching staff, they rebuilding. Look at what they did to us, on the next tour. They totally demolished the game, only last in the first half for both games. In the second half, it was just completely cruise. So it's good to see Reggae Girls football is back, but it was a long drought, especially Bonisha is back in full. The last time she was here, what you think it was in Montego Bay when we played South Africa. But I want to talk about a serious topic because I'm hearing they might be a little iffy if Busby contract going to get renewed. We know the issue already with him not able to travel to the US in recent times. I have no report on if anything changed, but it's a little bit iffy between the federation to actually put pen to paper and give him, the rest of the years until the team can qualify next year in the championship will be around November at this time. But what says you about the coach is going into his last sets of days? I think his contract might up next month, as they said in the report. And then when I heard of it, in the in the press release, I was like, really? And then I went and I checked on it, and they like, listen, reports are coming out. I mean, it's unconfirmed, but it's coming from source. But there is still a little bit if they will actually put pen to paper. But what says you with Busby and Dean Burton at the hem, especially his contract is wiring down?
I think there's multiple issues there that needs to be ironed out. If we're just focusing on the coaching, I'm not surprised again, just because of the circulating rumor for several weeks, months now, pertaining to exactly what you have just touched on, and that may very well be the reason why they have yet to put pen to paper. So I think, can you really build long-term gratification when you're not really sure who's going to be leading you in the next coming months? Like when you're right bang in a World Cup qualifier, I'm not really sure what the mood would be like in camp. If you're looking at something, you're building towards something, but is this going to be the coach and his backroom staff that's going to see you from point A to point B? Like, surely that has to leave a couple of the players feeling a little bit like, confused or concerned
Yeah,
as to how their future looks on the international scene. And if we're talking about wanting to retain talent, are you going to be buying into that? Like,
yeah.
as a talent, are you really going to be buying into this is a massive question mark here, where you could say this is an indication that there is a lack of stability there. Nothing is stabilized.
Lack of trust.
Exactly. I mean, when you're talking about, there's a lot of conversation as well pertaining to dual heritage players. Like, do you really expect a talent from a dual nationality where they have the likes of playing for the USA, Canada, or England, be it at even if the U20, not just the sorry, the underage group. So,
Yeah.
whether that's U17s, U20s, and so on. Like, we're seeing cases where senior Reggae Girls have look back. I'm not going to say turn their backs on us, but they've turned the other eye and say, oh, okay, I've accepted that call up, and that's something that I've addressed on my channel. Thankfully, one of those players, they made another U-turn and came back to us, Mimi being the player. But we've also seen the Taylor Hines situation where
Yeah.
she has said politely, I love Jamaica and I love England, but we see where she's which shirt she's currently representing, shirt she's currently done
Hmm.
in for senior international women's football. So should we expect more of the same in terms of players committing to playing playing for our national team? And to be honest with you, no, I'm not expecting players to do that when you're why should you?
Yeah.
Players' career is relatively short at the end of the day, and nothing is guaranteed in life. But when you're talking about committing to a team and a country, one of the main things you need to know is who's going to be guiding me, who's my
Yeah.
coach. You
Yeah.
need that. And if we don't dot the I's and cross the T's, don't expect people to commit.
Yeah, as we can looking at the squad at this moment, Sydney Schneider and Rebecca Spencer. Look, one is playing in the second tier in US, which is Sydney. Rebecca is like she's anonymous at this moment since she left Tottenham Hotspur and that contract to Chelsea. Yes, she's winning title, but the lateral part of her career not getting enough games at Chelsea. But straight up forward with the two goalkeepers.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good point. I think it was to be expected. I think it was to be expected. I think goalkeepers, they're in it's such a unique position to be in, right? Because unless you are extremely fortunate and
Mm.
blessed where you have three goalkeepers and they're all
Yeah.
starting for clubs, fair play to you if you've got that in your arsenal. But it tends to be a case where your number one goalkeeper is the starter, your number two is sitting on the bench for their respective clubs, and maybe your number three is out on loan somewhere away from their parent club, getting first team minutes or maybe playing university, college football and so on as a starter. So it's such a unique position to be in pertaining to the goalkeeper issue. I think based on what we have seen over the last couple of windows, a lot of people were looking and saying, okay, yeah, Leah Brooks. And I think she earned her stripes. And this
Yeah.
is my thing. Like, I think call ups should be done based on merit. Now, the goalkeeper situation is slightly different because let's say let's segue away from college football and university football. Let's say that wasn't an issue for a player call up, right? I think it should have been Leah Brooks, right? Based on the performances that we have seen of her. But again, it's not really surprising to me that he has just like you said, selected a goalkeeper that is,
Yeah.
as you said, anonymous. I think that's the word that you use
Yeah. Anonymous. Yeah.
from her current club, Chelsea. But yeah, it is a head scratcher, but it's not something that I'm surprised by. I'm like, I'm not shocked that he.
It seems like if there will be two goalkeepers at the time, it's always going to be Sydney or Brooks, fighting for that other position. I mean, look, Rebecca is quality.
You're spot on.
Yeah,
Continue.
Rebecca is quality, and whether or not we have to just deal with it. Rebecca, we'd love her to get a lot more minutes, and I was hoping that maybe the start of the WSL I would hear a little bit of transfer news of her. Maybe stepping down to the pecking order of a lower, less competitive team in the WSL and try to fight for that number one spot. But nevertheless, a good paycheck is very good in the women's game, and title behind that as well. You can't buy anything else when you are Chelsea. She guarantee money and she guarantee trophy by the end of the season. So,
I
um,
I
yeah,
I get the point
chip
that
in.
you're making, but I think I agree with what you're saying, by the way. But is where I don't think she should be settling for that. With the greatest of respect, like I literally agree with the points that you've made because I think me and you are singing from the same hymn sheet. Like We know how women's football is. We know about women's sports and just how poorly paid they are. So we
Yeah,
understand from like a financial perspective, no one can say, "Oh, that's a silly move," because it's not. But at the end of the day, this is our number one goalkeeper. It's our number one goalkeeper, irrespective of
yeah,
our number one goalkeeper should
yeah,
be starting for a club. Even if just like you said, why not go down to a lesser club in the WSL, or why not leave English football and go elsewhere, and where you can um
yeah.
play for a team week in week out. Who knows, maybe come winter she might say to herself, you know what, I now need to be playing football week in week out, and she might make a surprise winter transfer.
Yeah. So the defenders, as we have, Kanya. I think she's in Turkey at Fenerbahce. Naya Cardoza, a college player. Istiana Arisa, another college player as well. Chantel, fully professional player. Can you give me your perspective as well? We see McPherson, in the defensive line. One of the Swebe sister, is missing, which is Allison as well. But these sets of players, I think it's like six defenders. This should be good enough to at least help the front line to get 4 or 5 goals coming Saturday.
This is where I say success is subjective. Success is subjective. You're a Man United man, so you've seen your team clear up every trophy to win. You know that defense wins you titles. You know that. And it
Yeah,
goes back to what I'm saying, where I want more. I want the Reggae Girls to be looking at the championship and saying to the USA, I'm coming to dethrone you. Now, for you to do that, the building and the preparation started for me a year ago when we were getting those friendlies. You touched on
yeah.
South Africa
Hmm.
and subsequent last friendly against England. That to me were the preparation building blocks, not just for the World Cup qualifiers, but subsequently when we qualify, we go to the final rounds and we're preparing to take that title away from the USA. As I said, defense wins you titles, but I was thinking about this the other day when the team sheet came out. I'm like, I can't name my starting 11. I'm like,
we,
and like Edit Boss, you and I should be able to name a starting 11.
yeah,
The
definitely
reason why we can't is because the team hasn't been together. They're not been together, so we actually don't know what the starting 11 should be. We can sit here and say a starting 11 for England. We can name a starting 11 for
for the
Spain.
US.
We can name a
Hmm.
starting 11 for all those other countries, even in countries in CONCACAF. But for the Reggae Girls, we can't name a starting 11. Not because the players aren't good enough, it's just that we don't know who plays well with
Yeah,
who.
we are all over the place at this moment. And
It's
you
tricky.
said that we can't name a starting 11 at this moment, right? After this game, we don't know if we're going to be with a head coach. That's another task. You understand? And I'm emphasizing on it as well. We need to clear up this issue. Will Hubert, Busby, that's his first name, Hubert?
Yeah, Hubert Busby
Yeah,
Jr.
will Hubert Busby, be there by the end of the year coming into the new year, because we will have another game the first week in March, and then beyond a few more game, and then next year is a championship. The following year, but further down in the month, further down in the year in the calendar will be the championship. So I'm open. One question before we move on from the defenders. Wiltshire, where is her?
Okay, that's a great question. Such a fabulous player. So a while back, she announced that she was preparing to give birth to her little one. Thankfully, safe pregnancy, safe delivery, mommy and
Mhm.
baby, from what I could see as an outsider looking on, so doing well. So you know how it goes. You know the parental journey. So we wish her all the best and
Yeah.
can't wait to see her back in the team. But yeah,
Did she have a career in France?
she played for. I can't remember the last club she played for.
She ever played in the French league before? Stade de Rennes are one of those. Is it that?
The team, but let me
Yeah.
look.
So while you double check on Wiltshire, the midfielders, yeah, Tiffany Cameron. I'm gonna ask you to pronounce a name which I really can't. The
Can
African
you add a
name,
question?
Israela Groves is in the team. A college player, Drew Spence, a legendary midfielder. is in the team as well, and Denisha Blackwood. So now I'm seeing this midfield, it's a little bit sketchy. Tiffany Cameron been known for a wide attacking player. Blackwood been known for a left winger, quote unquote left back as well, if you want to put it that way. But other really players, there's no Vivian Sampson. Yes, I would see Atlanta Primus playing in the second tier in England as well for Charlton Athletic. Shout out to her dad as well. But that midfield, yes, okay, we are playing Dominica, and these players in the midfield should get the job done. But is it that you're thinking we might be go with a back three? But is you can answer that question, and then you can give your details around the midfield, because it's a little bit weird for me to have six midfielders, but you have Tiff, you have then as what quote unquote wide players, and then the rest of the other players attacking players. But I don't see that still in that midfield, like a Vivian that can play as a six. But who will play there?
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be a case of I'm not really sure why. Well, Busby does what Busby does, doesn't he? Again, I think we need to segue from playing players out of position, judging by the placement of the players. So again, you've got a forward down as one of your midfielders, you've got one of your wingers down as one of your midfielders, you've got a defender down as one of your midfielders. But thankfully, we still have natural midfielders. So we've got Big Drew. We've also got Izzy Groves, back to back call up for Izzy, richly
Yeah.
deserved. And we also obviously have Atlanta. So we have natural midfielders in there, aside from the
So 1 second. So Easy will be that stalwart, that rock in the midfield.
edit boss.
No, I'm asking because of look,
Listen.
we have seen patterns of both Reggae Girls and the men's team pick with
Yes.
patterns of unorganized, no real structure around the national team when there's a squad announcement.
I listen, I would like for that to be the case. I would like for him to actually use midfielders as the midfielders in their rightful position, starting off with the game against Dominica. So whether he's gonna go with a midfield three of your Drew, your Atlanta, and your Izzy, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's the right thing that you should do, because we've been screaming out for midfielders. We've been saying we need a midfield. Like, your team is incomplete without a midfield. You need midfielders, but you don't really know what he's going to do. That's the thing. You're not really sure what they should be starters, but you just don't know. That's why I said to you, I can't pick a starting 11 because I don't know what he's going to do. And that's not
This
a good thing.
this seems like more of a back three for me. He's going to play with. I don't know. Or maybe they're just looking at it. Hey, this is Dominica, and we're going to make the same mistake what we did in our World Cup qualifier for the men's senior team with
Hmm.
all Caribbean groups. All Caribbean teams. So I don't know. I really don't know. But can you pronounce that young lady name? Is this that she's playing in Scotland?
Yeah, Hearts.
Can you please pronounce? I saw her score a goal the other day.
You're really trusting in me to do this, but I could be butchering her name. But for me, Sade Adamolakun, right?
Okay, okay, leave it like that. Leave it like that.
Yeah, Sade
That's perfect.
Adamolakun.
So the two senior teams, men and women, are screaming out for a number six. Yes, we got Isaac Kidd, not the perfect six, but he's doing the job that he can do at this moment. So there, Vivian, she's still in Asia.
Yeah, she's in Japan. Thing is, Viv is a natural defender though.
I know, but
She's
she has been that looker.
that's
She
the
has been
thing.
that rock in the
But
midfield.
that's the thing, that shouldn't be a case. I want Viv in my team. Don't get it twisted. Like, she's a leader. I want her in my team, but I don't want to make excuses for the coach. Like, play players in their rightful position, because
Yeah.
when you go up against tougher opposition, it's inevitable that you're putting yourselves at risk of being exposed.
Yeah.
You need to just play players in their rightful position. Like, fun and games is done and dusted. We're now dealing with business. And I don't think now is the time for us to be pissing around and saying, let's just play this player here because we can afford to get away with it. Stop being cocky, because before you know it, you're looking at the likes of Mexico and you're looking at Haiti. And if you don't get it right from now, it
50.
might not come up to be pay dividends.
So so guys, it's the semi-finalists that will qualify for Brazil, and then the other two will go to the playoffs. And I think, is it the two finalists will qualify for the Olympic, or they will be the winner in the championship that just qualify for the Olympic? Because US will already be there,
Yeah,
so there will,
US get get obliged in it.
yeah,
So
so there will be one more team.
yeah, USA and it's USA and Canada that's already through to the finals. So it's
No,
remember
for the Olympics.
no,
No,
I'm talking
I'm talking about the Olympics. There's one spot already
yeah.
guaranteed for the US, but there will be another spot. I think will be the finalists. So the two finalists might, I think the finalists might qualify. For the 2028 Los Angeles, the Olympic game. So moving away from the midfielders. The forward line. Safe to say, Khadija Bonisha is back. We have Natasha Thomas, someone that want to see around the team. We have Shania Ailes, fabulous season last campaign, for the Geordies as well. Jodie Brown, I'm very optimistic of her moving away from Portugal, coming over to the land of South of France, where you have the Golden Boy that the Reggae Boy has been chasing for a year or two now. Mason Greenwood saw his team, wipe Newcastle off the field, in the second half. But Khadija Bonisha is there, Buckley is there as well, another college player. Van Zanten, like to see her in the team as well. So that's it. Is Rashika Walker is in the front line as well. But for me, I'm going to say two things. Jody Brown been putting in some stinker since the last World Cup, and she's not repeals of what a Jody Brown can do. And I'm going to ask this question: the move from Portugal, where she was predominantly out of the first team in for Benfica. I don't know what was that. I thought she was going to get a lot of games, but nevertheless, she didn't really play it. No, she's in South of France. Is it this can reignite back her career as well? And what's your details around Natasha and Shania, two players that playing in the second tier of English football?
Well, okay, let's start off with Shania and Natasha. Great additions. I think one of the blessings that we have with the Reggae Girls is goalkeepers
And
isn't
front line.
forwards
It's a
isn't
pattern. It's a pattern, isn't it?
yeah, it's not an issue. Like, although we're still not getting things right, it's not an issue. Like, that's not our biggest problems. Now, with regards to Jodie Brown, I think there's some issues there that definitely needs to be ironed out. And again, I'm putting this down to the coaches because it's been a while now. This is a player who was once awarded the CONCACAF Best Young Player of the Year back in the first successful World Cup qualification.
Yeah.
And when you watch Jodie Brown playing, if we segue and take it back a bit, back a step, when you watch Jodie Brown playing for FSU at the time when she was at university in
Yeah. In
Florida,
Florida, yeah.
different gravy, different gravy. Same goes for Bunny Shaw, different gravy. But I think if we agree with ourselves, if you go back and watch those games there, right, after we qualified for the first round of the World Cup qualifiers,
Mhm.
and if you look at the latter stages of the CONCACAF Championship, you're looking at players that look a shadow of themselves. And if you go back and honestly analyze those games and look at the way that it's not just Jodie here, but look at the way that Bunny plays, for example, and then you're thinking to yourself, How is it that you're smashing it out the park when it comes to your university, again, FSU, but when you come into the national setup, you're a shadow of yourself? I think there's a few reasons for that. I think player management was poorly handled. I think we were heavily reliant on a couple players where we could have afforded to take our foot off the gas. We could afford it to say, okay, what is my starting 11? Because even on the lawn, we did not have a solid starting 11. We didn't, and subsequently we didn't have time to formulate a plan B, and you could see that that is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, we failed to qualify for the Paris 2024 World Cup. So
Yeah.
again, going back to Jody Brown, the coaching has to improve. The coaching has to improve. There's a reason why Busby went and got Dion Burton, because the quote unquote, he said he needs the firepower to be firing. So even he knows that that is an issue, and that's not an issue that's unique to Jody Brown. Now, with regards to Jody Brown, and again, where coaching is an issue, we still don't know if how is it you've been around this team for three World Cup cycles now. Forget the fact that you've had to call on the legend Dion Burton, but you as a coach that should know this team like the back of your hands, you should know Jody Brown like the back of your hands. You don't know if she's best suited to the left or to the right or as a
Or
10.
through the middle. Yeah, as a 10. We don't know.
Again, that's an issue. That's not a Jody Brown issue. It's you don't know how to maximize her potential. Now, when we look at what happened when she went to Portugal, her first professional contract for Benfica, obviously we don't know what went on there. But women's football, I can say, and this is just my opinion, that it can be a little bit sticky. We've got to think about how long it takes a player to become settled. Remember, she's playing in a country where English isn't their first language. We don't know the dressing room dynamics. We don't know if there's players there that's being nasty to her. We don't know if she's thinking, hang on, I made a mistake here because this is not my environment. This is not getting the best of me.
Was
Class
she getting paid?
she class is permanent at the end of the day. And now, just like you said, we've seen her segue and she's now playing for Marseille. And I wish her the very best. But I'm so hopeful for Jody Brown, because I think it's a coaching issue. I think until you get that coaching issue right, I can't say that, look, you're not doing what you need to do. You don't know where to play her.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So that's right there. So we leave the best for the last. The KFC ambassador, Khadija Bonisha, she's back. Yeah,
Yep.
can she bring a lot of Kentucky Fried Chicken to St. Lucia with her in her suitcase for these girls, and they can eat it after the game, not before the game. You know. So look, Big Bunny is back. I'm going to say this as well. I'm very optimistic about the squad. Yes, when the squad is without Bunny, you can see the big gap in this team. It's like a sinkhole, just woof right in the middle, smack them in the middle. But Bunny, she's playing good. She look a little bit more fit. She seems like she lose a little bit of weight as well. That's good. But for me, the important thing going into these sets of games, there's no European League, which I would love her to be playing in Europe top flight league, but she's going to play like every 5, 6, 7 days, which is going to be fresh because over the last, what, 16, 18 months, she's been picking up these little small little injuries. You understand? And I don't like that. No, she can go back to the season where she can just focus on the league. And then when it cup games, it's cup games. No, they get a very good start to the campaign. They beat United in the Manchester Derby. They lost their first game of the season versus Chelsea. Chelsea, I think, dropped points the other day. I think it was against the Gunners. Am I right? I'm stand corrected. But Bonnie, what's your expectation going into these sets of game? Can she push the record of the leading goal scorer a bit far than where it is at this moment? And can she give us that breakthrough season again for the Reggae Girls in the championship season, like when they went down? I think when I remember if it was 2018 as well, when they qualify for France. Can she give us that stellar championship run. Is she the right? I know I'm asking that tough question, but this is Bonisha, But is it that Bonisha is at the same level than where she was the start of Bordeaux, our first professional contract?
Listen, I'm just looking for what this coaching instruction is going to be. I'm hearing talks of philosophy, and I'm like, is the philosophy in the room with us? Is it
Hmm.
going to be a case of pass the ball to Bunny and watch her create magic? That's what I'm looking out for because obviously her talent is undeniable. Bunny on one leg is sharing a golden boot with Alicia Russo. Like Bunny is
Hmm. Yeah,
a fully fit Bunny can't be stopped. A fully fit Bunny is the best forward in the world. Not arguing with no one on that. Fully fit Bunny can take Manchester City to the title. Can eclipse Chelsea of their grip on the WSL, which is a little bit unfortunate because when you touched on the two key significant injuries, in my opinion, some might say I'm being biased, but had it not been for those significant injuries, there 2 seasons back to back,
yeah,
unfortunately, Bunny being in one of them, I'm convinced that Man City would have taken the title away
yeah,
from Chelsea.
definitely. Not the one that just passed. I think it was 23-24.
Including the one that just went, including the one that just went, the one that you're referring to, that's probably a little bit more clearer. But even this one that just went, because remember, it wasn't just Bunny that was injured. Manchester City,
Yeah,
unfortunately, picked up
yeah, yeah.
significant injuries. Even with Miedema was included as well.
Yeah,
Key players,
definitely.
So I think if they weren't injured, Edit Boss, I'm telling you, Chelsea are not holding on to that title. So, and again, this is Bunny Shaw on half a leg that is still getting golden boots. Like this is a player that's not even fully fit. It's a player that is. You're talking about whether she's going to be serving up KFC as an ambassador, which is a little bit funny. The humor is there, but I'm looking if you can serve up some some Ballon d'Or performances. That's what
Um,
we need to be doing, But
would
hey, look,
what
we have
team
our
did she
England.
score that goal on? They brought Bonnie brought back the Air Jamaica where she was just flying in that air, and I think she scored something similar to
Again,
that as well.
are you talking about the goal against Liverpool?
Yes, the goal at in Manchester where she's actually was like the camera wasn't Bonnie wasn't nowhere in the camera shot, but you see someone that's flying in here like a Air Jamaica 20-30 years ago.
It's this
I mean, look,
team.
I'm wishing Man City the best this season. Look, United been a pain, in the last couple of seasons, especially for Manchester City. United took City spot last campaign, but we see what is happening at this moment. 3 points,
She bullied your team, didn't she?
yeah.
She bullied your team, didn't
Yeah,
she?
she did. She always bully United, always. But I mean, look, City women's team is in first, 24 points, and Chelsea is in second, 21 points. And City scored three plus more goals than City. So we're looking at a very, very good title race, even though it's still young. But one team, I think can cause an upset or a little uproar in that top three, top four where the Gunners are at is the London City Lionesses. They have quality players. They don't know what you can get. And also Brighton, I mean, the English player, I mean, Ajiman, that's her name. She
Yeah,
got injured, so they're
that's it.
not going to be that surprising one. But for me, straight up this season, if it's not this season for Bonnie, then it's when. I think if she can't get that season for City this season, straight over to Barcelona. I'm sorry.
Why
I'm
not come
done.
to London? Why can't you say go to Arsenal?
Go
What's
to Arsenal. So I mean, look, why Madema left Arsenal?
sorry?
Why did Arsenal top leading goal scorer in the WSL Madema?
If
Why
I
she
answer,
left?
you will close down your channel. I really don't want to answer that for you. Let's just say I got beef with the other coach in it.
Why did why Madema is leaving the Gunners and
That was that
Monisha
was
going?
that was more to do with the coach and it's pure stupidity because it was clear that he had a particular profile of players that he liked, isn't it? When you look at his players and his signing, it's clear that he's going in a particular direction. No one in their rightful mind is going to be shipping out Vivian Miedema,
Yeah,
especially when she has her partner at the club as well. Like you've got your partner there at the club. Surely you want to stay together. I think they got a little dog as well, so you're not going to want to be moving away from that, are you?
Yeah.
So I don't think if I think she loves Arsenal. I think she would have stayed at Arsenal if the coach wanted her, but I think that was to do with the manager. I don't think it was to do with the club not being ambitious. Because at the end of the day, Arsenal are a more ambitious club than Manchester City. Arsenal have won 60 odd plus trophies. They've won the most trophies for a British club. But
Mhm.
they are
Yeah.
now two-time winners of the Champions League. They've cleared
Yeah.
up every trophy possible. So if it's
Which
not about,
Chelsea cannot win.
hey, you said it.
Yeah, which Chelsea cannot win.
You know,
But
if it's about trophies, then hey, look, I would
yeah,
welcome that Arsenal
so
trophy.
it's going to look. It's going to be the return of the players going back to their club after this women FIFA window closeout. My team United, we will home to West Ham. Then we'll play this tough and bad Lyon over in France as well. Tottenham Hotspur, Juve away, and then the Gunners away. So the game that United lost, I think it was West Ham at home, and then they went on to like losing their last what 3 out of 4. Then it's very difficult. But Crystal, we're closing out at this moment, and your last say with this squad, are you confident that we can do the three-peat for the Reggae Girls?
It's my country. I'm here to be the ultimate 12th man. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get ahead of myself. I believe they will do it, but I feel like it just might be a bumpy ride.
So, are we doing a live stream on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright. So people hear that we will be over Talawa TV doing live watch along, watching Bonisha ripping that Damanica team, shredded them apart. You understand? Like a yellow shredded cheese. But that's where we leave it. This video is supposed to be 10 minutes, and we gave you guys a 30 minutes added time. That's so long. Look, we gave them a full added time, 15, 15 and a half. Extra time. Like, yeah, we gave you guys a full. Can we go up penalty shootout?
Listen, I don't cage football. I don't mind that shootout.
I mean, look, man. If you can have one word to the public and to JFF to do to this Reggae Girls team and this Reggae Girl program, will you like to see the handover back this team to Sidala Mali if she will accept it?
I think I am a fan of going where you are wanted, not where you're tolerated. And I think it's quite clear that issues still need to be ironed out without naming certain names. They're in a good position right now. So are they going to be using their iron fist? I should hope not. But I think as long as there's some issues there pertaining to certain individuals in the high echelons of the Jamaica Football Federation, I wouldn't want to put Sidela in a position where it's not comfortable for her. Not saying that she wants to work in comfort, because obviously football is football, business is business, but I'm not going to be advocating for putting someone in a position where they're not going to be respected, you know.
Mm.
But if she feels she can put up with whatever predicted disrespect is to come, then obviously we will cheer for her. But again, go where you are wanted, not where you're tolerated.
Yeah, let's see if they call in again. Let's see if Sida will stretch the Bob Marley at out and said, okay, drop the Record Girls in it. We will go on over to the One Love Foundation. So people, that's it. Thanks for passing through. We gave you guys 30 minutes of extra time, 15 minutes a piece. So leave it right there. This is Talawa TV. You don't know Crystal, not Crystal Davis. It's just Crystal. So So yeah, people, that's where we're leaving it, man. Bless up on yourself. Yeah, we are out at this moment.